I'll be honest, caring for 3 shooting victims, and plus the other that came in, is not an infrequent day for us. To be honest with you, we barely had to adjust our operating room schedule to be able to do this. That's how frequent we are having to deal with gun violence in our community. For 15 years, I've cared for victims of violence and gunshot wounds. And people say I'm tired, but I'll be answered. It's more than tired. I'm weary. There's only so many times you can walk into a room and tell someone they're not coming home tomorrow. And it just breaks your heart. When you hear someone screaming, "Mommy," or "Daddy," it just becomes too hard day in and day out to be able to do that. Now, my team is fantastic. They're absolute professionals and they're wonderful. But sooner or later, it catches up to everybody.
That was Dr. Jason Smith talking about being exhausted by gun violence. And I'm telling you, tears starting to well up in my eyes. That was quite passionate of the doctor to lay out the real life emotional consequences of being a medical professional that deals in the emergency room and somebody that has to see this type of trauma happen over and over again. He is the chief medical officer for the University of Louisville Health in Kentucky. He was, of course, referring to the bank shooting on Monday that left 5 people dead. The 5 victims were identified as Joshua Barrick, 40, Thomas Elliott, 63, Juliana Farmer, 45, and James Tuff, 64, and Deanna Eckert, 57. Before the latest death, hospital officials said 9 people were injured, including 3 in critical condition. Here are the pictures of the victims of that tragedy, and you can see Josh and Jim, Tommy, Juliana, and Dina. Among those hurt was a 26-year-old rookie police officer who was shot in the head. At a press conference Tuesday, Mayor Craig Greenberg told reporters about a new sick piece of faith in all of this. Take a look.
To those in the national media that are joining us here today, this may be even more shocking than it is to those of us locally who know this and are dealing with this. But under current Kentucky law, the assault rifle that was used to murder 5 of our neighbors and shoot at rescuing police officers will one day be auctioned off. Think about that. That murder weapon will be back on the streets one day under Kentucky's current law.
I mean, Sharon, we just cannot make this stuff up. And before you weigh in here, just one aside, I want the people to know a law. So I want them to know what the mayor is talking about. I mean, we obviously do a law that state passed in 1998 prohibits law enforcement from destroying confiscated firearms, even when they've been used in crimes. Instead, those firearms, including the AR-15 style rifle used in Monday's shooting at Old National Bank, are required to be sent to Kentucky State Police, which sells the weapons to federally licensed gun dealers. I'm telling you, Sharon, we can't make this up. This is not a made for TV movie. This is actually real life.
Yeah, it is. And what they're really saying is no matter what, you will take these guns and keep them on the streets. There's a whole law about it. Kasim Reed, I'm sure you know the name, former 2-term mayor of Atlanta, had a carve out here. And he said, he just held them. He held them, said, I'm not selling them. And it was a big deal. And it was challenged and it was written about. I live in the state of Georgia.
I can't believe somebody would challenge the mayor on that. These people, that's when you cross over into total insanity. You have lost your ever-loving mind to do something like that. And to hear the mayor say this, this is an opportunity for the legislature to take that law off the books, to create a new law saying that this will not be the case. And it certainly is my hope, Sharon, that when that weapon is sold, that whoever purchases it will destroy it. How about that?
How about that?
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. unbelievable. And Greenberg spoke to the dangers of such laws, saying that destroying the gun would make me a criminal for trying too hard to stop the real evil criminals who are taking other people's lives and who are eager to make a spectacle of mass murder. The laws we have now are enabling violence and murder. And that point you brought up, Sharon, about what Mayor Kasim Reed did, this mayor is saying, wow, if I did that, I'm gonna get in trouble. But you know what? I remember Congressman John Lewis, he is in the ancestral plane right now, but one of his most famous comments is making good trouble. I think that mayor will be making good trouble if he did in fact decide to do this a different way. And I'm sure that there will be some forces against him, but I'm sure that there'll be many, many, many forces on his side.
Yeah, go ahead and arrest him. Go ahead and take him in and put him on trial. And then I'm sure on the jury, because this is what America does, you will have a mother who's lost someone to gun violence. And you get that person to go ahead and try to convict. It's really sick. It's silly, it's sick. And when are we gonna wake up? I don't know. But the fact that someone could have been killed with this weapon and then it has to go back on the streets.
Yeah.
Really?
I know, really, in America. He's right, it's just a whole spectacle. But Mayor, I hope you do something. Maybe they can even go to the auction, Sharon, and outbid some, whoever. Like they can get a whole bunch of people to go to auction. Yeah, get creative. Get 20, 30 people to go to the auction, and at least you know that weapon 9 times out of 10 will go into the hands of people who are dedicated to destroying it. So hopefully they watching Unbossed and they getting these tips right now, but it's just so sad.